Well, buckle up because the chaos meter just broke. Chrisean Rock and HoodTrophy Bino, the duo already known for turning regular Tuesdays into WWE SmackDown, are now officially entangled in police drama so wild it makes the Kardashians look like a yoga retreat in Montana. Forget tabloids, this is the type of scandal that leaks straight into your bloodstream. Picture it, flashing red and blue lights painting the street, sirens howling like a soundtrack from a rejected Netflix thriller, and smack in the middle of it all, Chrisean Rock, probably yelling at the universe itself, and HoodTrophy Bino, caught in a mess so absurd you'd think it was scripted by a drunk reality TV producer. This isn't a petty speeding ticket or some oops, wrong place at the wrong time nonsense. No, this is a full-blown police chaos extravaganza complete with leaks, witnesses, and memes so savage they could cut glass. And the internet? Oh, the internet didn't just react, it detonated. Twitter exploded with threads longer than a CVS receipt, TikTok reenactments dropped within minutes, and Instagram turned into TMZ on steroids. This isn't gossip. This isn't rumor. This is the kind of chaos that rewrites careers and ignites public outrage like a bonfire in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard. Welcome to the storm. When the words Chrisean Rock and police start trending together, you know you're not in for a quiet evening. Add HoodTrophy Bino's name to the headline, and suddenly the internet isn't sipping tea, it's mainlining Red Bull. This was never going to be just a minor misunderstanding or a polite chat with the cops. No, this was bound to be explosive, loud, and so over the top that you'd think even Hollywood wouldn't dare to script it. The chaos began with whispers, as it always does. Some shaky iPhone footage appeared online, sirens blaring in the background, lights bouncing off car windows, muffled voices shouting. At first, nobody knew what was happening. Twitter detectives immediately clocked the voices, one user tweeting, "Wait, is that Chrisean yelling? I'd know that scream anywhere." Within hours, it was confirmed. Yes, indeed, Chrisean Rock and HoodTrophy Bino had found themselves in the middle of police chaos that looked more like a season finale cliffhanger than a real-life incident. And let's be honest, was anyone truly shocked? Chrisean has built her brand on being unpredictable, volatile, and entertainingly unhinged. She's the woman who can turn a casual live stream into a brawl, a photo shoot into a meme, and a birthday party into breaking news. HoodTrophy Bino, for his part, has cultivated a rising star image, full of raw swagger, clout-heavy flexing, and a refusal to tone anything down for industry approval. Put these two in the same room, and you're not brewing herbal tea, you're setting dynamite next to a bonfire. So what really happened? Reports begin trickling in, each one juicier and messier than the last. One eyewitness claimed Chrisean was wild and out, screaming at officers like they were background dancers in her personal reality show. Another insisted HoodTrophy Bino tried to de-escalate, but in a way that only escalated things further. The cops, apparently, weren't in the mood for celebrity antics. And just like that, the situation spiraled into something resembling Cops. Viral edition, the internet went feral. Twitter lit up with hot takes. Chrisean Rock vs. LAPD. My money's on Chrisean. Another viral tweet declared. Bino thought he was starring in Fast and Furious, but the cops gave him a plot twist. Memes poured in photoshopped images of Chrisean staring down officers like a Marvel supervillain, or Bino riding shotgun in a toy police car. TikTok creators wasted no time recreating the chaos, complete with wigs, fake jewelry, and toy sirens, turning alleged police drama into viral skits. Meanwhile, fan reactions split into two loud, chaotic camps. Camp 1. The defenders, screaming that Chrisean and Bino were being targeted because of their fame and authenticity. Camp 2. The critics, rolling their eyes and claiming this was the most predictable scandal of the year. Comment sections looked like digital battlegrounds, with strangers cursing each other out over people they'd never met. One YouTube reaction video racked up 500,000 views in hours, simply titled, "Why does Chrisean Rock stay in chaos?" But the real kicker? The leaks didn't stop. First came the video clips. Then, blurry screenshots of what looked like paperwork surfaced online, sparking conspiracy theories thicker than a Kardashian storyline. Reddit detectives dissected every frame, posting timelines and speculating about charges. One thread had 2,000 comments within 24 hours, with users acting like courtroom lawyers, arguing whether Chrisean had crossed the line or whether the cops had provoked her on purpose. Chrisean, of course, didn't stay quiet. Within hours, she popped up on Instagram Live, mascara smudged, voice cracking and booming at the same time, launching into a rant that could double as a monologue in a Shakespearean tragedy. 1 second she was crying about being misunderstood. The next she was yelling about people always trying to bring me down. Her live was clipped and re-uploaded across every platform, generating millions of views. Fans dissected her every word like theologians poring over sacred texts. Was she confessing? Was she exposing corruption? Or was she just adding lighter fluid to the fire? HoodTrophy Bino, in contrast, played the cryptic card. No live stream. No dramatic speeches. Just a moody Instagram story. A black screen with the words, "They won't break me, that's it." 4 words. And yet, the internet combusted. Fans interpreted it as a declaration of innocence. Critics mocked it as Celebrity Victim Complex 101. Memes popped up overnight. One showed a cartoon Bino standing in front of a crumbling courthouse with the caption, "They won't break me, but this trial might." And the celebrities? Oh, they couldn't resist. Reality stars jumped on their stories to post eye-roll emojis. Rappers shaded the situation with vague tweets like, "Keep your head up, but stop bringing heat to yourself." Even comedians piled in, one posting, "Chrisean Rock vs. LAPD. Forget Floyd Mayweather. This is the fight of the decade." Suddenly, this wasn't just a scandal, it was a Hollywood-wide roast. The media, of course, feasted like vultures. Gossip blogs blasted out headlines every hour, each one more dramatic than the last. Chrisean Rock's wild night with police. HoodTrophy Bino's career on the line. Chaos duo turns Hollywood upside down. Talk shows debated the mess like it was foreign policy. Podcasters couldn't shut up about it, spinning 3-hour deep dives out of 30 seconds of footage. Everyone wanted a piece of the chaos pie. But here's the thing, the deeper the scandal got, the bigger the questions became. Would this derail Chrisean's messy but profitable career? Would Bino's rising star be extinguished before it could really shine? Would they face real consequences, or would this become yet another celebs vs. cops saga that fuels memes but fizzles in court? Nobody knew. But everyone was desperate to find out. By the time the first wave of madness subsided, one thing was undeniable. This wasn't just another celebrity hiccup. This was a full-blown cultural event. A police scandal so messy, so unpredictable, and so perfectly suited for the internet age that it felt less like real life and more like a Netflix binge drop. And just like a Netflix series, fans weren't satisfied with one episode, they wanted more, and oh, they were about to get it. If you thought the first explosion was bad, the second wave made it look like child's play. The scandal didn't simmer, it detonated, over and over. Like fireworks on the 4th of July. By now, Chrisean Rock and HoodTrophy Bino weren't just trending, they were owning the algorithm, hijacking timelines and swallowing the internet whole. The escalation began with one word: footage. Suddenly, whispers turned into screams that the police had body cam recordings of the entire altercation. That rumor alone sent social media into meltdown. People were begging for the release like it was the latest Marvel trailer. One fan tweeted, "If there's Chrisean Rock bodycam footage, shut down Netflix, I've got my entertainment sorted for the year." Another posted, "Forget Barbie vs. Oppenheimer, it's Chrisean vs. LAPD double feature." The demand for the video turned into a meme itself, with TikTokers parodying fake, leaked clips that racked up millions of views before being exposed as jokes. And just when the buzz started reaching fever pitch, more leaks surfaced. Blurry court documents began floating around. Were they real? Were they photoshopped? Nobody knew, and nobody cared. The internet doesn't thrive on accuracy, it thrives on chaos. Reddit threads turned into detective agencies, with users zooming into signatures, highlighting dates, and acting like they were auditioning for CSI. Twitter edition, Chrisean, meanwhile, poured jet fuel on the fire. She jumped back on Instagram Live, this time claiming she was set up, between tears, laughter, and swearing at imaginary enemies. She promised to expose the truth, of course. She never explained what the truth was, but that didn't matter. Her fans clipped the rants into bite-sized TikToks, adding dramatic music and subtitles like it was the trailer for a telenovela. One fan edit titled Chrisean Rock vs. The system pulled 4 million views in a day. HoodTrophy Bino went the opposite route, calm, collected, and infuriatingly cryptic. Another Instagram story. This time, they love to see us fall. That single sentence ignited conspiracy theories like wildfire. Some fans argued he was talking about the industry. Others said it was a direct shot at the police. A few even speculated he was throwing shade at Chrisean herself. Comment sections turned into verbal WWE matches. Each user convinced they had cracked the Da Vinci Code of Bino's vague posts, and then came the celebrity flood. T started small reality stars tossing shade from the sidelines. But then bigger names jumped in. A mainstream rapper tweeted, "Hollywood's a circus and the cops just bought front row seats." A singer posted a cryptic message about protecting your energy, which fans immediately linked to the scandal. A comedian roasted the entire mess with, "Chrisean Rock vs. LAPD is the versus battle nobody asked for. But everybody's watching." The internet devoured it, screenshotting every post, every like, every emoji as if they were clues in a murder mystery. The memes hit a new level of savagery. Someone created a fake Grand Theft Auto loading screen with Chrisean and Bino as the characters, surrounded by cop cars and chaos. Another edited Bino's face onto a Monopoly get-out-of-jail-free card. TikTokers dramatized the incident with soundtracks from Bad Boys and Law & Order, racking up millions of likes. Even Instagram meme pages that usually stuck to SpongeBob jokes couldn't resist cashing in, captioning photos with, "Chrisean Rock when she sees flashing lights." Season 3, Episode 1. But while the memes were hilarious, the outrage was dead serious. Critics accused Chrisean of being a walking PR disaster. Others said Bino was too reckless for his own good. Fans defended them furiously, arguing they were being targeted because of their authenticity. Whole communities fractured over the debate. TikTok lives devolved into screaming matches between strangers, each side convinced they were defending the truth. Comment sections turned into digital war zones, and the media? Oh, the media ate like it was Thanksgiving dinner. Every blog, every gossip site, every tabloid ran updates hourly. Headlines screamed across timelines. Chrisean Rock speaks out after police drama. HoodTrophy Bino hints at betrayal in cryptic post. Hollywood chaos couple under fire. The cycle was endless, addictive, and impossible to escape. Brands started reacting too. Some quietly backed away. A rumored endorsement for Bino suddenly on hold. A collaboration with Chrisean's name attached mysteriously vanished from promo calendars. Meanwhile, smaller brands tried to capitalize, tweeting things like, "We stand with Chrisean Rock" in hopes of going viral. The result? More division, more arguments, more fuel for the fire, and just when everyone thought they had the scandal figured out, a new twist hit: rumors that other celebrities were entangled in the same police chaos. Twitter exploded with speculation. Who else was there? Why weren't their names mentioned? Was Hollywood covering something up? Conspiracy threads bloomed overnight, with users dragging random celebs into the mess, some of whom had literally nothing to do with it. One theory even claimed a Grammy-winning artist was in the background of the leaked footage. Proof? None. Entertainment? Endless. At this point, the scandal wasn't just about Chrisean and Bino anymore, it was a cultural black hole, sucking in everyone, from celebrities to fans to brands. It became bigger than the incident itself. It was about power, perception, and who could dominate the narrative, and through it all, Chrisean thrived. Every rant, every tear, every laugh made her more of an internet legend. Her fans weren't embarrassed, they were galvanized. That's our queen. One viral TikTok declared, with a montage of her wildest moments. HoodTrophy Bino, meanwhile, became the mysterious anti-hero. His cryptic silence turned him into the scandal's shadowy figure, a man people couldn't stop speculating about. The internet didn't want resolution. It wanted escalation. And the scandal delivered, feeding fresh twists daily. Every post was a cliffhanger. Every leak was a plot twist. And the world wasn't ready to look away, because in this age, chaos isn't a glitch, it's the main feature. By the time the scandal's second wave reached its peak, the aftermath was already beginning to show its teeth. What started as flashing sirens and shaky iPhone footage had evolved into a cultural earthquake. And now the dust was settling, or at least trying to. But instead of calm, what emerged was fallout so loud it echoed through every corner of Hollywood, hip-hop, and the internet at large. First, the reputations. Chrisean rock had always been synonymous with unpredictability. She was the storm you couldn't ignore, the headline magnet you either loved or hated. But after this police chaos, her brand went into overdrive. To her fans, she was a warrior queen standing tall against the system, a woman who never backs down, no matter the consequences. To her critics, she was a cautionary tale, proof that clout chasing and chaos could only end one way, with flashing lights and courtroom drama. Blogs rehashed her entire history of controversies, recycling every messy moment into evidence that this was inevitable. Instead of wiping the slate clean, the scandal carved her reputation in stone. Chrisean rock, the queen of chaos. HoodTrophy Bino's situation was trickier. He wasn't yet a household name before this, but now, everybody knew him for better or worse. Some said the scandal gave him the kind of visibility most rising artists would sell their souls for. Others argued it was a death sentence for his career, the kind of stain that makes labels and sponsors run faster than fans to a free concert. In the aftermath, Bino was caught in the middle, an anti-hero in a messy saga that made him both infamous and unforgettable. Then came the industry reactions. Behind the scenes, panic set in. PR teams scrambled like firefighters at a 5-alarm blaze, holding emergency meetings at ungodly hours. Insiders leaked that Chrisean's camp was split half, insisting they should spin the narrative as a targeted star fighting injustice, while the other half begged her to go silent and let the storm pass. Bino's team wasn't faring much better. Some wanted him to lean into the chaos, drop music, and ride the wave of infamy. Others feared that the longer his name stayed tied to police drama, the harder it would be to salvage his career. It wasn't just damage control, it was a war room. But if you thought the internet was ready to let the scandal fade, you couldn't be more wrong. Fans weren't satisfied, they wanted aftermath content too. Paparazzi shots of Chrisean walking into a studio trended with captions like, "Queen Unbothered." A blurry video of Bino at a gas station went viral, fans zooming in on his expression like it contained secret clues about the case. Reddit boards became echo chambers of speculation. What's next? Jail time? Diss track? Redemption arc? Nobody knew, but everyone pretended they did, and of course, the memes didn't stop. They evolved. Now, instead of edits of flashing sirens, fans were making courtroom memes. Chrisean photoshopped in a judge's robe. Bino edited into a Phoenix Wright video game yelling "Objection." TikTok creators started skits imagining their sentencing day, complete with wigs and plastic gavels. The internet turned the aftermath into a parody, mocking it while simultaneously keeping the story alive. Meanwhile, late-night talk shows couldn't resist. One host quipped, "Chrisean rock in police chaos again? At this point, the cops should just add her to the payroll, she's practically a recurring character." Another joked. HoodTrophy Bino went from rising star to rising bail money in record time. The laughs were cheap, but they kept the story in circulation. But beneath the comedy and chaos lurked the darker side. Consequences. Reports of legal repercussions started leaking, rumors of fines, probation, even potential charges that could derail tours and appearances. Nothing was confirmed, but the speculation alone sent shockwaves. Brands distanced themselves quietly, removing names from promo materials. Promoters hesitated to book shows, worried the scandal would overshadow the music. Opportunities dried up in some corners even as others ironically opened. Smaller clubs and labels tried to capitalize on the infamy, offering spots and deals purely because the scandal made Chrisean and Bino hotter topics than the music charts themselves. The public, of course, split down the middle. Supporters argued the chaos would only make them stronger. Detractors said this was the beginning of the end. Comment sections became digital battlefields, each side screaming louder than the other. And through it all, one thing became clear. This wasn't just about Chrisean Rock and HoodTrophy Bino anymore. This was about fame itself, how it works, how it breaks people, and how the internet eats its own idols alive. But the most chilling part of the aftermath, the cliffhanger energy, because just when everyone thought the worst was over, whispers of more footage began. Anonymous accounts claimed that the body cam recordings weren't the only receipts. Blogs teased unreleased angles. Suddenly, fans weren't just waiting for closure, they were waiting for the sequel. Was there a bigger twist? A secret detail that hadn't surfaced? Another celebrity entangled in the mess? The speculation was more addictive than the facts. Chrisean leaned into it, teasing cryptic posts like, "Y'all ain't ready for what's next." Bino remained his cryptic self, posting another moody story. The truth always comes out, and just like that, the internet was hooked again. Convinced that the aftermath wasn't the end at all, it was the setup for another scandalous chapter. So what's next? Jail time? A redemption tour? Diss tracks? A Netflix documentary? Nobody knows. But one thing's for sure, the police chaos wasn't a period, it was a comma. And the story of Chrisean Rock and HoodTrophy Bino isn't over. It's mutating, evolving, and coming back louder, because in the world of celebrity scandal, aftermaths aren't closure, they're cliffhangers, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is how Chrisean Rock and HoodTrophy Bino turned one police run-in into a cultural earthquake. This wasn't just flashing lights and paperwork, this was a saga, a Netflix-worthy drama that had the internet foaming at the mouth like it just discovered free Wi-Fi. From shaky iPhone clips to Instagram lives that looked more chaotic than a Real Housewives reunion, we didn't just watch a scandal, we binge-watched a circus. But here's the truth. You think it's over? Please. This is Hollywood's favorite sport, chaos. Scandals here don't end, they respawn like Mario with infinite lives. Today it's Chrisean and Bino entangled in police drama. Tomorrow it's someone else forgetting the golden rule. Never underestimate the power of flashing sirens and a camera phone. So here's your mission. Smash that like button like it just disrespected your family. Drop your hottest takes in the comments. Do you think this scandal will sink their careers or skyrocket them into legendary status? And hit that subscribe button like your rent depends on it. Because this channel doesn't just cover scandals, we roast them, dissect them, and serve them up hotter than a Kardashian PR meltdown. And don't get comfortable. The next scandal is already lurking in the shadows, ready to explode into your feed. When it does, you know exactly where the chaos hits first. This is Fame Ripple, where drama isn't just reported, it echoes across the internet until the walls shake, the memes multiply, and the truth, well, that's optional. Scandal never sleeps, and neither do we. Stay tuned.